We're thinking about, what I was thinking about this morning is clinging to past suffering. There's a yoga sutra called Dvesa, which is Dvesa, Dvesa. And it is all about holding on to stuff that has happened to us in our past, whether we hold it in our bodies. I know Linda Sellers, you just read the book The Body Keeps the Score. I'm looking forward to reading it sometime soon. And so in our bodies, emotional state, trauma, suffering, anything that's happened to us, we have a tendency of holding on to for one reason or another. And I think through the process of movement and yoga and meditation and also getting the help of other specialists in massage, physio, chiro, osteopathy, therapy, talk therapy, walk therapy, whatever you can do for yourself to let go and let God or your higher power or anything that you believe in help you along on your journey to get rid of it. And so that was what I was thinking about this morning. I taught to that at Greenstone this morning, and because it's a sutra, I think it's important to be able to reflect and look back, but not live back there, to live here so that we can move forward into the next day and the next day, even though we're always in the present, we're not always there. Often thinking about, if only this could happen, or I know for me, I'm always like fantasizing about something that I don't have or that I want, or so and so's life looks more interesting than mine. So and that's that's a good type of suffering too, because this is me. So and then also Maggie asked us to just put that prayer out for Mary again this morning, because let's think about Eva too, because Eva is also in Bracebridge at the hospital. Eva's our librarian in Bala, where we see her on Tuesday mornings at the library, and she is responsible for getting me involved with the chair yoga. So to her, she was in the ICU last week and the week before. She's been there for a bit with whatever's going on, and Mary fell and broke her wrist and her hip, so that's past suffering too. Poor Mary also tripped and fell on her yoga mat the year before and broke her wrist and hurt her ankle. So what is going on but crap and what's the word? Just tragic error, I guess. So taking a moment here to reflect on anything that's happened to you in your past, and just allow it to come up to the surface. Any pain, any suffering, anything that has upset you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Allowing for thoughts, emotions, pain to safely surface. Thinking of anybody else who also might be suffering, and putting your breath and your mind into a place where you can help yourself heal, be of maximum service to somebody else who might need that help in healing. And devoting yourself, though, when we feel better about ourselves, when we're in good spiritual shape, good physical shape, good emotional shape, we can put ourselves out there and be more useful to other people. We can put more into life. Can't pour from an empty cup, as Jasmine always said. So breathing into your own body and nourishing it. Breath is life. Breath is what animates the body, the personality, the amount of oxygen that flows into your blood changes the chemistry of your blood, and that in turn enhances your personality. So widening your rib cage, expanding, expressing your lungs and filling up down into the diaphragm, into the second chakra, below the ribs, down between the pelvic, the hips, into the pelvic bowl. Letting your breath be soft, natural, but open, making more space for new air, new life to come in. And when you take care of yourself, breathe for yourself, you can also enhance the breath in the room. That's one reason why I breathe more heavily during class than other times, because I'm trying to set the consciousness for the room. And you can do that, in therapy or when you're one-on-one and hanging out with somebody. If you set the breath, the other person naturally can align more freely and more safely in that space. So using this breath, this concept of nourishing your breath, your body, your life. Let go now of that yuck, that whatever trauma, pain, suffering that has been coming up for you and poking at you and disturbing you. Be willing to let it go for now. Know that you can return to it later, that you can continue to heal, to seek answers, to seek new life. A rebirth or a restoration in your body, in your mind, in your spirit. Open to new answers, new possibilities, new ways forward. Sometimes the old way is just not working and we continue to try and think this is how it's going to go, but we've got to be willing to let go and move forward and trust and have that faith in the journey. Let's rub our hands together to make our palms warm, to invigorate our hearts. The heat in our hands in front of the heart. Take that heat now and rub your neck from your ears down to your neck. Just the front of your throat. One hand, the next hand. And then along each side of your neck, from your ear down to your collarbone. And then take your hand across your chest and go from one side to the other. So left hand or right hand to the opposite shoulder and across to the same respective shoulder. Giving ourselves a fresh lymph massage. And then we switch hands and go opposite hand to opposite arm and across the chest to the same side. And then go opposite hand again down to the other hip and up along your ribs, out your arm, underneath your armpit, out your arm. And switch sides. And then come to your breasts and take the heels of your hand and massage around in circles around the outside. And then making a fist with one hand, go in a clockwise direction starting from the right rib cage up and around the top or underneath your rib cage to the left side and then down underneath your belly button. So you're circling around your belly button. Ideally trying to get underneath your ribs a little bit. So it's like a square inside of a circle, hip bone to rib, or hip bone, rib, hip bone. But just inside of those bones as a guide for the circle. And then keep that fist and come right to the rib cage, right where the sternum comes together there. Just below it is like where your diaphragm is. And then there's this cistern chili. It's like where the lymph comes up into this area. So just give it a little bit of a pulse. It might hurt. It might be tender there. Yeah, if it's tender, you're in the right spot. But be kind. Relax your diaphragm, your gut. Let it just hang out. You don't have to suck it in right now or anything. We're told that too often.
Why does it hurt?
I don't know. I'll find that out. It could be that it just needs more work. And then we're going to take both fists. So make the fist in both hands and rub your kidneys. So the space between the bottom of your ribs and your hips, the back side, or the iliac crest. And a little pat. Gentle patting, either with the fists or with the whole palm. I'm going to come to extend my legs out, so if you want to do the same, and then you can just keep those fists going and pat along your legs. Inside to the knee, around the hip joint, to the outside. And then rub as well, not just patting, but rub. Use your heels of your hand, your whole hand, along the outside, top, inside of the quads. Oh. Going in both directions, away from your body and then towards your core. And then we'll move down into the feet. So if you either lay down on your forearms, or you could sit up kind of halfway, and you just start to pulse your feet. So flex, extend, flex, extend, flex, extend. If you want to align your breath, you can, when you point your toes, you inhale, and when you flex your ankles, you exhale. Even though it gets harder because your ankles start to seize up and get tired, keep them loose. We're moving the lymph all the way down from the feet up the legs and into this area up here in the chest that we opened up first. The filter or the catchment, like in the vacuum, you know, where the vacuum catches all the dirt, that's like this area. It's hard to keep the breath along. And take a forward fold. Bend your knees a little bit. Reach for your toes. Get your fingers in between your toes. Work your toes with your hands. Massage them. Loosen them up. Put the fingers in between. Spread them out. Pull them. Prod them. And then point at the ankles and massage the hands out past the toes, so along the top of the foot, out the toes. And then slide your bum back a little bit so that your ankles can flex, and then massage the bottoms of your feet. So pull from the heel up to the toes, and massage the bottoms of your feet that way. And then now we haven't done the calves, so one calf at a time. Bend your knee, place the foot flat, and gently and kindly dig with your thumbs or your fingers or your fist into your calf. Painful.
Oh yeah.
The legs keep the score, we'll say. So does the rest of the body, but the calves really get tender, don't they? They always seem to be the same. Even if I work at this, they're always so tender.
Knots.
Yeah. So get down towards the Achilles, both sides, up towards the knee. Make sure you work along the outside edge of the muscle too, right along the tib fib. And then let's do the other leg. Same idea, bend the other leg, let the other leg go long. And find your sweet spots and find your tender spots and give yourself some love. And last but not least, we'll come up to our head and our face. So get comfortable in your seat and just massage your hairline and your forehead, making circles all along your hairline. And then keep massaging, rubbing your head along the crown. Towards the back. Down the head to the base of the skull. And around the ears from the front of the ear. Follow the bone. Down the neck to the clavicle. And then take your fingers to the middle of your forehead, all four fingers, and then pull away to the temple. Continue to come down just underneath the cheekbone. You can dig in around your cheekbone here, get in underneath, almost going where you could push onto the top, upper, outside molars. Might be tender in there too, but feel free to go deep. And then finally we'll follow the jawline down to the chin. So you could put like index finger on the top side of the jawline, thumb on the bottom, right to the chin. And open and close your jaw a few times. As you do it, you might feel if one side opens differently than the other. And let shake it out. Shake your wrists, come into a boat pose and shake your legs. Shake your core. And then pause in your boat and stay here. Long, deep breathing. Arms can be up. Grab onto the backs of your knees. Pull those knees in close. Sit up taller. Slide your hands down your legs if possible towards the bottoms of your feet, and then wrap your index finger and middle finger around your big toe, and then open up your legs. Pull your toes towards your ears. Sit up tall. Try bringing one heel in. They can't see you. Don't worry. And the other heel in. I can only see you.
I just want to sit there doing it.
You can come up here closer if you want to be in the video. And back and forth. Keep sitting up tall and out on that angle.
I'm finding it hard to keep balance.
Yeah. And both legs back up. Bend those elbows. And bring those legs back down. Take your feet wide, your hands behind you, and just move your knees side to side.
That's hard.
Got to challenge a little bit here and there. Keep everybody interested and maybe a little motivated. There's always something to work towards. So we'll all drop our knees over to the left side. So left knees on the outside, right knees on the inside. And then wind your right hand up to your left knee. Right, and then the left hand is around and behind. Then look over your left shoulder. As you look over your left shoulder, your right hip will lift up automatically. Now keep your hip lifted and look back over your right shoulder. Now look away over your left shoulder and drop your hip. Look back towards me, lift that hip and head towards me, and drop the hip and look away. And one more time, lift the hip, look over the same shoulder, and return, and we're just going to switch to the other side. Drop the knees to the right, the left hand comes to the right knee. Look over your right shoulder. As you do that, your hip automatically lifts. Then turn back towards that lifted hip. Look over your shoulder towards me. Keep the hip lifted. Drop the hip, look away. Lift the hip, look over the shoulder. Exhale, look away, drop down. Inhale, lift and look. Last time. And lift and look. And come back to the center. Take your feet hips distance, maybe a little bit wider, and visualize before we actually lift up your shoulders over your wrists and your ankles under your knees. And a reverse tabletop. Inhale up, head goes back, navel lifts high, no navel gazing, look back, open up, and lower down. Walk your hands forward, knees into the armpits, hang out over your bent knees, go inside, observe, reflect, relax your shoulders, your mind, and slow down your breath. Begin to sit back up. One hand, right hand, let's say, comes to like a tripod, right out from the center of your sacrum. The other hand, the left hand has a string attached to your belly button. It's going to come right up, and as you lift that hand up, so comes the hips and the belly button up to the sky. Open the heart, open the lungs, the ribs, the hips, and come back down on that drawstring. And reach forward, settle in, knees into those armpits. Slide the hands back up the shins. Other side, left hand out behind. Pretend string, puppet on a string. Inhale up. Head goes back. And come back down. Forward over the knees. Settle inside. This is where you can navel gaze if you want to. Slide the hands back up the shins. Take your feet off to one side. Come onto tabletop, hands and knees. And just start to move freely in and around your space, into the free space, making space in your body. Moving any way you want to, slither, glide, shift, rotate. Anything that feels good, that feels organic and frees up. Something that's stuck in you, something you're holding on to, let go. And come on back to the center. So it's your choice. You can either be long arms, wrists under the shoulders, or if your wrists are giving you a hard time, you can be down on your forearms. We kick the right foot up, knee is bent, head lifts, inhale. Exhale, nose to knee, nice and slow and smooth through here. So you notice any wavers in the hips or the knee. Inhale, lift the head and lift the foot up. Exhale, nose to knee. And lift. And breathe out. Now the nose and the knee are close together. Just bring this knee forward, near and between the hands, and sit down onto this heel. The other leg lengthens out. And then any amount that feels good for you to walk your hands back towards your hips. You can stay with the fingertips on the mat. You can take your hands behind your back, or you can find these tiger claws. And then we'll do 3 lion's breaths wherever your hands want to be. Hang your tongue. This one's for you, Mary. She loves this one. Hands back down. Take it out either to a child's pose or a downwards dog. Walk out your dog. Moving the hips side to side, bending one knee at a time. Looks to me like everybody's in a downwards dog. So wide feet, we'll get back to the other side in a moment. Widen your feet, bend your knees a little bit. Bring your left hand to make a tripod and take your right hand to the opposite leg. Wherever you can reach. Maybe it's just your hip, maybe it's your knee, maybe it's all the way down to your ankle. Opposite hand to the, so left leg. Yep, there we go.
Sorry.
And then look underneath your armpit and rotate your spine. Squeeze out the apana, get rid of it. Make new spaces. And return and then just switch hands. Replace the right hand with the left and take the left hand to the opposite leg. Look under your armpit, look up to the ceiling. Feel the ringing out in your spine and your neck as you drop your head, but look up with your eyes. Back to the center. Knees down to the mat. Release the toes and lift the left leg up, knee bent, head up, inhale. Exhale, nose to knee, nice and slow and smooth. Inhale. Head up, foot up. Exhale. And one more time. Lift to the sky. Push the air away, up with your foot, and breathe out. And then keeping that knee up, then place it down right in center, sitting onto the heel. Longer in that leg. Walk the hands back. Tiger. Stretch your tongue as far as you can. You're stretching your nervous system. And detoxifying. Hang it out. Hands back down, downwards dog. Let those hips go high. Walk it out. Shift side to side, whatever frees up the muck in your hips. So a little challenge here, just a little one. Left hand a little bit more in center. Right hand, lift it out to the side like you're flying an airplane. Bring it down to along your hip now, so it's on an angle, same angle as your back. Then lift your heel of your left foot up. As soon as you do that, you've got to engage your right leg more. Start to roll off the ball of that left foot, maybe lifting the toes off of the mat. Start there, small increments. Lifting that foot any amount. If you can get it higher, get it higher. You can extend your leg completely, go ahead. Not necessary, just little challenges. Return that leg back down. Take yourself into a child's pose. Lowering the knees. Arms out long. And settle in. Long deep breaths. Just noticing how you're feeling. What you're maybe still holding on to. Come on back up, hands and knees, downwards dog, feet nice and wide, right hand creates the tripod, left arm goes out like an airplane first just to find your balance, your center, then bring the hand along to your hip, keep the head hanging. Begin to lift the heel of your right foot, feel how your balance changes. Then start to lift each toe off the mat to your big toe, whether you stay balanced there or you're able to lift that big toe off the mat, knee bent, maybe lift that leg into the air. You've got to use lots of core. You might have to fly your arm back out to the side to hold that balance. Return that leg back down. Take yourself back onto your knees. Lower back down into the child's pose. Forehead to the mat. Knees nice and wide. Come back up onto your hands and knees. And we'll kickstand your left foot off the side of your mat. So you're pivoting on your knee. Then start to turn open side facing, extending the free arm And the right leg up long. Opening up here, you got a little mini wild thing. Turn your heart to the sky. Now return your hand back down to the mat. It's just there for support. This back long leg is going to slide and walk up in front of your bent knee. So put that foot in front of the bent knee. Now using your hands for support, you take the bent leg, the back leg now, it extends out long, and you lift your knee up so you're resting on the outside of your foot, then you pull your right arm back up open. Yep, there you go. Open up, inhale. It's like a half side plank. So the right leg is now bent and in front, and the left leg is now long and out and in behind. And come back down. Turn your hand back to the mat. Pivot on your feet so that you have the right foot forward, the left foot's in behind, and walk your hands back into a pyramid. Even weight distribution in the feet. Hands can stay on the mat. They could be on a block. They could be up at your heart center. They could be hovering here. There. Take the pressure off. Right legs forward. And then bring your hands back down to the mat. And your choice to take a child's pose, to take a downwards dog, or to flow through plank, through up dog, to down dog. Just watch. And we come back into our downwards dog for a moment. And then we come back down onto our hands and knees. And then we do the right side. So we're kickstanding the right shin off of the mat, the knee pivots. Then you begin to roll open the left side body. The left leg goes long, the arm goes above the head. Peel open towards the sky, the arm, the heart, the navel. Even lift your toes to the ceiling, turn your knee to the ceiling, open up. Let your head go back. You okay?
Yes.
We're not doing that one yet.
No, I slipped.
We're not doing that one
Oh,
yet.
I'm on this side?
Yep, so right knee's kicked out.
Right.
Yep, and then left leg goes long.
Oh, right.
Yep, there we go.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
left leg goes.
Got it.
Okay. I've got to get back to the way I was.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, don't be sorry. And then bring your hand down. It's just there for support. The long left leg, it now steps up in front of that bent knee. And then you pivot the knee back. You extend the right leg, which is now the back leg, the behind leg, open it up long. You're resting on the outside of your foot, then turn open again with that left arm. Yeah, lift your high hip, lift your left hip up. And come on back down. Pivoting on your feet, turn them to face forward, the toes, step into a wide leg pyramid, and walk your hands back. Either to the block, to the center between your feet, maybe up to rest in on your, I'm just going to bring that to you, with your hands at your heart center. Just checking the time. Yeah, hands on the block maybe, if that's what you need. Let that breath carry you up and float you a little bit up with the inhale. And then settle the torso, lowering closer to the earth as you exhale. Now hands return back to the mat. Bring your right leg up into the sky. Bend your knees, squeeze that knee into the chest. Nose towards the knee. Step that foot up next to the front one and forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Rise up about 3/4 of the way. Place your hands onto your knees. Open up your heart. Bring your shoulder blades together. A standing cow. A standing cat. Lengthen your arms around your spine. Tuck your tailbone, navel to the spine. Inhale to cow. And breathe out. And breathe in and tilt. Lift that tailbone, head back. Draw the shoulder blades together. And exhale. A few more times each way. And then rise up from around its spine to stand. Heart center, just gonna fix the camera so that I'm not completely disappeared. Samastiti or Tadasana, hands together, heart center. Feel into all the new spaces that you've made in your body, all the room, the little adjustments. They might be microscopic. Get a sense of awareness in your feet. Wiggle your toes and make your toes wider. Your whole base of support a little bit wider. A bend in the knee, just slight. Release everything below the navel. No holding, let it go. So deepen the breath, let your belly hang a little bit. Feet soft, knees soft. All relaxed down there. As you bend your knees a little bit more, curl your tailbone underneath. So align the spine. There are primary and secondary curves. What we're trying to do here is stack each vertebrae on top of the next. So as you just tuck the tailbone under slightly, you might feel an extension in your spine. So grow a little taller, but stay bent in the knees. You might feel your core engaged now because you've curled your tailbone under. But try to maintain this structure, this scaffolding in the bones, and relax the soft tissues. Elbows are wide, thumbs are resting against the sternum, right between the breasts. Remember all the softness and the strength in the lower part of the body. And now lift the head, the crown away. Lengthen the back of the neck. Keeping the eyes closed. We're in a very good position here to practice a very, very small, easy balance, but with our eyes closed. Try rolling onto the balls of your feet, just lifting your heels. So lift your heels, roll onto the balls of the feet. Use your toes as roots and begin to rise up off of your heels onto your toes. So when you start to feel the balance go funny because your eyes are closed, that's the point you need to stop. Which for me is not very far at the moment. I keep opening my eyes, look at the screen, I'm cheating. And then lower back down, regain, reset. Everything I just said before we tried that balance, find it. And try again. With the eyes closed, make wider feet. Really spread your toes, knees bent, tuck that tailbone, lengthen the spine, hands right in at the chest. And begin to roll back onto the balls of the feet. Lift the heels up very slowly, because as soon as you lift the heels, the weight goes forward because your eyes are closed. If you stay tall, you keep your toes spread, and work very slowly. Lift those heels up. You might find your way onto the tippy toes. back down. We'll do it a third time, but so reset yourselves again. Visualize yourself doing it before you do it. I want you to have an experience with your eyes open if you want to, so that you feel good, that you know that you can actually do this one. Make sure you use your big toe and the insides of your knees right up into the base, into the perineum, right up into the center of your spine. Lift now your heels up. If you want to open your eyes and actually get to your tiptoes, like I want to actually have that experience, you go ahead and open your eyes. And lower back down. Step the right leg back. Nice gentle crescent lunge. Inhale the arms up. Open yourself side facing. Turn your back foot 90 degrees. Warrior two. Take a triangle, extend your front knee, little micro bend, bring that front hand down just to the inside of the knee, and the back arm up. Return into warrior two. Backhand sweeps down past your hips, turn back to crescent lunge. Square the shoulders and the hips up. Step your back foot forward, bring the knee into the chest. Balance for a moment on one foot, hands down by the hips. Squeeze all the air out. Whoop. Return that foot back down. Arms inhale. Other leg goes back, crescent lunge. Warrior two, open your back foot, turn your hips side facing, the body, the chest side facing, arms come down. Look past that front hand. Can you bring your foot forward? Is that okay? Good?
Yes.
Okay. Triangle. Bend, extend that front leg, hips shift back, front hand comes down inside the knee, back hand comes up, triangle, return to where you came from, warrior two, return to where you came from, and crescent lunge. Backhand sweeps down and the knee and the leg follow, and you turn your whole torso back to face the front of the mat. Hands come down, slide or step the back foot up, bringing the knee into the chest, dropping the hands down. Breathe out all the air. Get rid of every last ounce of it. And the hand or the foot, return back. Inhale, arms up. Little bit of a back bend here. Hands return back to the heart center. Bring your navel into your spine as you realign. Find that integrated posture we just talked about. Interlace pinky. Ring, middle finger, index finger points out, left thumb crosses over right, arms above the head, step your right foot behind your left and off of the mat, stay facing forwards, lift the arms above the head towards that heel you just stepped behind. There, you got it. No, this way. Yeah, open up. Back to center, hands can come down right underneath the belly button. Bring that foot back into place. Inhale the arms up. Little back bend here if you want. Look up, follow with your eyes, pass your index finger. Bring those hands back down. Step the left leg behind and off the mat. Then bring the arms up. Keep the shoulders facing forward. So if you step back towards the piano more,
Step back.
face your right foot towards me. Turn it back. There we go. Yeah. And then you, I'm probably going a little too far. Then that foot just steps and crosses in behind. So turn that foot towards me. Your back foot. Yeah, yeah. And then the shoulders and the hips are up, and you're bringing the hand back towards that heel.
This way.
Towards the kitchen.
Towards the kitchen.
Yeah, there we go. Now lift up. And come back to the center. Hands back down in front of the navel. Realign the feet. Inhale the arms above the head. And then keeping those hands together, trace them right down through the center, the middle of the ribs, right down along the belly button into a forward fold, and then let those hands go and face the palms to the mat. And cross one leg behind the other and find your way to sit down. Crossing your legs. Right hand first, left forearm on top. Finding a square breath pattern, so your arms are square, like shoulder, shoulder, elbow, elbow, or yeah, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, elbow, shoulder, shoulder. So it's in a square pattern, you're breathing as well. So you can inhale to 4, inhale to 5, to 10, whatever you want. Then you hold your breath for the same amount of time, following from elbow to elbow. Then you exhale for the same number of counts from the elbow to the shoulder. Then you hold the breath out for the same number from shoulder to shoulder. Then you inhale again from shoulder to elbow, and you follow that visualization. Jenny, if you bend your elbows and you place forearm on top of forearm, it's like a square. Yeah, there you go. You can do it that way too, but maybe you have a mantra that you want to say to yourself instead of counting. You want to repeat a mantra, something you've been working on, or your New Year's resolution, or letting go of whatever pain, suffering. You don't want to cling to it anymore. I want to let go. Maybe that's what it is. Keep going. Right. Music's not sounding right. There's a hum. Sorry about that. Keep going. Don't let me distract you. try this one instead. This song's called Come Let Go. And you can keep meditating or anytime you want to go into Shavasana. Maybe there's not such a hum on this. Oh. Sorry, not gonna be able to play music. It's doing something weird. Oh well. So yeah, anytime you're ready, you can lay down. I'll play my drum instead, like I brought my drum. Play my drum. beginning to just check in with your feet, feeling them breathe. Feeling the separation and the spaces between your toes. And just start to move them. Roll the ankles, move the feet side to side. Spread your toes. And then rub your feet together. You might have to bend your knees. I forgot to mention to bend and move your knees. Rub those feet vigorously, warm them back up again. And then drop your feet back down to the mat with your knees bent and move your knees side to side like a windshield wiper motion. And then pause back in the center again. And press your navel to your spine. Push your spine into the mat. And then come into your fingers. Wiggle your fingers. Move your wrists. Bend your elbows, rotate your elbows, your wrists, your fingers, move them around. And as you move your hands and your wrists, your arms, move your neck side to side. And then bring your neck and your head back to center and rub your hands vigorously together. And now start to move your feet and rub your feet together as well. At the same time, you're rubbing your hands together. And then bring your hands around your shins and your knees to your chest and give yourself a hug. You can thank yourself for coming. And send that hug and that love out to everybody who needs it. So spread yourself nice and wide on your mat. Reach out to whoever might need the extra ounce of love and TLC. And then give yourself one more hug back, hands around the chest. And then bring your knees back into your chest and roll over to your favorite side, the right or your left. And stay there for a moment. And whenever you're ready, I'll welcome you back up to sit in Sukhasana, an easy pose on your mat. And we'll rub our hands together one last time. Stay close with 3 ohms. If you'd like to unmute yourself, you're welcome to join in. Hands separate. And we'll come to a close with 3 ohms together. When you're ready, join in. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Hang on.
Thank you. That was awesome.